My name is Issy Jewelry, and you're watching The Log on Written by Issy. Today, I'm speaking with Cassandra Collins, who is a social media strategist and content creator. We're talking about the benefits and challenges that come with being a part of the creator economy in Nigeria.
So I'm a lot of things. I'm a content creator. I own a fashion brand. I work in a tech company as the social media lead as well and content lead. I'm trying to build my own social media agency, which is Casting Social, like you've seen. And I feel like I'm forgetting to see things, but in a nutshell, that's that's one of the things that I currently do. So I was having a conversation about this actually with another content creator today, and we're talking about how we started and Instagram, as a platform. And to be very honest, I think that I started creating content subconsciously. Like I was putting out content out there, but I wasn't sure what I was doing right. So in when I was in final year in 2017, I was kind of popular in school, and I was mostly popular for my social media. I wouldn't say I was a content creator then, but I had popping pictures, right? I had really, really popping pictures. And it was the era that, a lot of schools had many Instagram accounts and many mini blogs on Instagram. Like featured like the popular students. So like I was a constant face. Like that my face would be there, right? And it's like also a thing where like every Sunday, like after church service, there is a fire picture from these accounts that we posted on all of these blogs. So that was like 2016, 2017. And then when I left university in 2017, I then contested for Miss Nigeria in 2017 as well. And then I met a particular person actually, Miss Anambra. She was very sweet. She was a content creator at the time, and she was very conscious about it. And when we were in boot camp, we're not allowed to use our phones for like 3 weeks, right? So after the pageants ended, all the finalists, some of us became friends, some of us went back to our regular lives. I got more curious, as to like what she was doing, how I could make, my page that it was nice, was popping. I had like 3K followers at the time. How I could, make my page more aesthetically pleasing, right, for my followers. So I kind of started to copy what she was doing at the time because I didn't really know anyone around me that was doing like something really cool like that, right? So I started to copy what she was doing. And then I went through many phases where I'll post pictures and then I'll try to like sync the pictures with like colors. So like on my Instagram, if you go like way, way down, I had my era where I was in like all yellow and then all blue and all pink. It was just like a whole lot going on. But in 2020, during the lockdown, I think that was when I had more clarity, right? I was home. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any money. But thank God there was no reason to spend money because all of us were locked up in the house, right? So I was locked down and I got bored. So on Easter Sunday, I took my first self portrait on Easter Sunday and it went viral on Twitter. Right? It went viral. It had close to, I think, 500,000 impressions. It had about 8,000 retweets. That was the first time that I would have anything that I put up on Twitter have that many, engagements. I'm like, if people like this, there's probably more stuff that I can do that they like. So, like, to say that when I got really conscious about being a content creator would be like 2020, and then I started with self portraits. I did like a whole series during the lockdown, and even after like lockdown was lifted, right? And I got a job. I was still like shuttling and doing a lot of self portraits, and I started to work with someone. She's a content creator as well. She's really big, Candy Smith. I started to work with her as a creative director, and she inspired me a whole lot. Like she taught me a lot of the things that I'll be speaking about later about monetizing content creation and what's not. So she taught me a whole lot. I'm like, okay, if I can do this thing for this person, I can do it for myself, right? So I started to do videos here and there. My first two, three, four videos during lockdown were really horrible, to to say the least. They were not great, but I got better and I got better. I kept putting stuff out there, and here we are now, 3 years after, 3 years post lockdown, and it's safe to say that I've kind of made a name for myself. I mean, a few people know me, so there is that.
So, what do you think are some of the benefits that are unique to content creators in Nigeria?
To be fair, I don't know if I'll call them benefits, but I would say, well, some are benefits, right? Popularity. The reason why I won't say that it's a benefit is because there are content creators that are socially awkward. They're not very big on, the fame or what's not. But yes, having 5,000 followers, 7,000 followers, I mean, it doesn't matter the numbers as long as these people are people that listen to what you say or what you do, adds to your popularity, right? So there is that. There's access to places and events that you normally may not get access to. So I think that's actually a really nice benefit, the access one, because I've been to, places that I know that normally it would take me a lot more work in my line or in my career to get to those places. But being a content creator opened those doors for me. So yes, I think access, popularity, a little bit of fame. I choose everyone is not going to have the fame because not everyone is going to go viral. That's the truth. But popularity, access, and for people that are started to make money from content creation, money as well. And for some people, it's a full time job. So I'd say a full career path.
So, what would you say are some of the challenges that content creators in Nigeria face?
I'm laughing because there's so many. Where
Oh,
do I even begin? So I think that as a content creator in Nigeria, right, your biggest up is PHCN. I'm sorry. That is your biggest up as a content creator in Nigeria. And I'll break it down for you. So I'm lucky because I live in an estate that, to a large extent, light is pretty good. Not 24/7. It's not like service, but the power is good. And I have an inverter. So if there's like a power outage while I'm creating content, I can just go turn on my inverter and continue creating content. But it doesn't always work like that, right? So even if I have all of these resources, like for myself, or I've been able to provide these things for myself, if I'm going to collaborate with another content creator, and then I go to his house or our house, and it take lights, what are we supposed to do then? We're just sitting down, like just looking at ourselves because not everybody has a generator. This is the same Nigeria that is always full scarcity, right? So, like, where do we go from there? Basically, there is the fact that in Nigeria as well, like people still don't understand what content creation is, right? People think that you're just a vain person taking pictures for TikTok and Instagram. In fact, they make it seem as if you belong in the gutters for posting on TikTok or posting on Instagram. Like it's like an insult when they say a TikTok girl, right? Not thinking of the actual amount of influence you can have on these platforms, or the fact that you can make a lot of money from these platforms, right? We can build a community on this platform, even a cult, to be very honest, on this platform, the people that have cult followers. So people don't take you seriously if you say you're a content creator. I do many things, right? But I can count the number of times people have looked at me funny when they say, "Oh, what do you do?" And then I say, "Oh, I'm a content creator." I don't have to say, "Oh, I'm a tech babe," or I'm an entrepreneur, or I own my own brand. I don't owe you these things. I don't have to be these things for you. I should be able to say I'm a content creator, and that should be enough, right? But apparently, for Nigerians living in Nigeria, it's not enough. There's also the fact that, back to people not understanding, what content creation is. There's a lot of harassment. Like you can't. It's that one baffles me so much because as a creator, I am going to restaurants to give reviews and take pictures and post restaurants and expose these restaurants to my own audience. But these same restaurants don't want me taking pictures in their space. They they have very strict rules. They are harassing me because there's the fact that I'm a content creator, the fact that I'm a woman, like there are all of these issues, right? So like, but me, like I'm exposing it to because when you say 10K, I feel like we've made like these numbers even seem very small. I'm literally exposing to 10,000 people, right? If 10,000 people come to your restaurant, you'll be overwhelmed. So I'm exposing to 10,000 people, but yet, it's not like you're giving me any incentives or, you're giving me free food. I'm just saying, let me create my content in peace. I'm not being a nuisance. But there is that people harass you. You can't even create, then let's even come back to Lagos, right? You can't create content in Lagos because outdoor content because Omonile will harass you. There is that. They'll harass you. People want you to pay them to like shoot in a certain place. People Also, back to light, power, right? As a content creator in Nigeria or as a YouTuber, because I also have a YouTube channel, it's very hard to create YouTube content. I'm sure you can relate to that because once power goes, even if you have your own generator, everywhere is so loud, it's almost impossible to film. So it reduces the quality of your content. Even if you choose to go ahead to film, you have to edit audio so many times, reduce background noise, so you sound like a robot. I can go on and we'll still be here.
What would you say are some of the issues around monetizing your content as a creator in Nigeria?
I'm about to start laughing again. It goes back to, again, people not taking content creation seriously or thinking that it's a lot of work. A typical day in my life as a content creator, like, that's after my full-time 9 to 5 job. That's after me chasing after tailors, after me chasing after people selling fabric to me. The days I set aside for content creation, I am so famished because I'm moving lights around. I currently use 3 ring lights because I'm all about that lead space, right? So I'm moving lights around. I'm moving furniture around to create space for myself. Now I can spend on a good day if things go well. I can spend an hour shooting one reel and editing it, and everything is fine. For very complicated videos, I have spent 7 hours editing a video before, and it still wasn't perfect. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post it like that. I spent so much time editing this content, right? And the reel ended up being, I used 7 hours to edit it. It was a 12-second reel. A 12-second reel. Now, with all of this hard work, people still don't take content creation seriously and they don't want to pay. They like that your content is nice. They see. The only reason they're even reaching out is because they see it. They see that you're putting a lot of work, it's quality stuff, you know. But they don't want to pay you, right? Everyone wants to do giftings and invites. Excuse me, pay me money. Because giftings are not going to buy me a new LED lights, right? I have a digital camera. It wasn't giftings that got me that camera. It was, I'd earned money from my pockets that paid for it, right? People don't want to pay you your worth as a creator in Nigeria. Um, there's also this thing where it's a very weird stuff where, like, when you've given one brand a discount, because people talk, the next brand expects that they're deserving of that discount as well, right? And don't get me wrong when I say giftings, because I own a very small brand as well, so I also do giftings for influencers, right? I take giftings from brands too, and I create content too because I mean small brands needs these things, but bigger brands, they're still not willing to pay. So it's very dicey. Like, you have to be very conscious because people are ready to use you and not pay for your hard work. So it's very, like, that in itself is a terrible mentality, and you have to be very you have to own your shit, and excuse my language, but you have to own it. You have to know that, if this brand is not willing to do this, I'm not taking this. I didn't do so many paid gigs last year because I rejected so many things. I'm not hungry. Like, I make it very, very clear. I'm not hungry. You can see my Instagram. It's not like an hungry person's Instagram. I'm not hungry. I can buy any clothes I want to wear. Right. So I think that as a creator as well, understanding that, all of these brands are not for you. Or, I mean, a brand reached out to me and offered to pay me 100K for 10 videos. And as a last year, that was how much I was charging for one video. So you want to pay me 100K for 10 videos. I need you to make it make sense. Now, 100K may seem like really big money. 100K cannot even buy me a new lens for my camera, right? 100K will probably buy me, power for 1.5 months because look at my house. I have a lot of ACs. So I constantly need to buy power, right? So, like, people don't want to pay. People have a very poor mindset. People are willing to pay celebrities a lot of money for ads and they'll do a shitty job because they don't have proper creative direction, but will not pay influencers who have the actual reach, whose target audiences who really needs those stuff are not willing to pay them. So I think the biggest challenge in Nigeria as a creator, like a monetizing challenge, is the fact that people just don't want to pay. The money is there, but they don't want to pay. Especially big brands.
So, do you face
So
creative roadblocks? And if you do, how do you overcome them?
I think that everyone does, to be very honest. This year, this is just April. January, February this year, I contemplated quitting content creation. I'm not joking. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this nonsense. It's like a rat race. Like everyone is just running around and doing this one, and I cannot continue this madness. I'm like, but then I reminded myself why I started in the first place, and like what's the most important thing about creative roadblocks. To answer your question now, it's very normal, especially when you churn out a lot of content, and also when you take in a lot of content too, because I think that's one thing that people don't often speak about. So when Instagram app is so messed up right now that it's almost impossible not to take in so many content. It's just so much, and then you can get very, very saturated with the amount of things that you're taking in. So it's not just like things you're giving out, it's what you're taking in as well. Sometimes it's like, it leads to like a sensory overload, right? So whenever I feel like I'm unable to create, or I just feel weird about my content, I just take a step back. Because first of all, nobody's going to beat me if I take a break. That's the first thing. Secondly, because I've worked in like an official environment, an office environment, I understand that even people that work 9 to 5 take leave. So I'm allowed to go on leave from content creation and take a break. So like, and that's the good thing. Like, once you take a break, it's better to have. It's easier to have clarity on what's next, right? It's easier to have clarity. And another thing that people don't underestimate is the what you gain from speaking to other creators that are your friends, not just random creators. Other creators that are your friends, speaking to them really, really helps, because it's like having, a brainstorming session at work. Ideas will flow when you speak with other creators. And then taking some time off like the internet, even like not just you stopping, not posting, but like take breaks. If you're on Instagram like 5 hours a day as a creator, reduce to 1 hour a day. You're reducing the amount of content you're taking. So like essentially overload would reduce, and then realize that there is more space for you to think. And sometimes just rest, man. Ideas will fall into your lap when you rest. You just see one thing, and then you're thinking, oh, what can I do with this? Because you're giving it time, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much how I deal with it. Resting, speaking with my close friends that are creators as well, and taking a step back from everything.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think honestly, I really needed that last one because sometimes I tend to get carried away on Instagram and I'm like, I'm trying to collate interviews for my blog, but when I consume so much content, I become overwhelmed and then I'm like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I'm like, okay, I need to take a step back. If not, I'm not
It's
going
also
to.
very easy to compare yourself to other people if you're constantly taking in content. It's very, very easy to get lost in the sauce. You
Yeah,
just realize that you're comparing yourself to other people and like, oh, I'm not great enough. Oh, I'm not posting
yeah,
enough. Oh, my engagement is not high enough. It's exhausting, and no one should put themselves through that,
yeah.
honestly. That's too much.
If you were to tell people who are trying to be successful content creators three things, what would be the three things that you would tell them?
All right, the first one would be keep your mind very open, right? It's very, very important because, and I'll try to give like a little context to this. Keep your mind open in the sense that I know everyone says, have a niche, have a niche, have a niche, but be very open and be very flexible to change, right? When I started creating content, I started with static pictures, static content, static posts, just pictures. I started with self portrait, and I transitioned to more fashion content. And then from there, I started to do now I do a lot of lifestyle now. I have more lifestyle content. I even do like a little bit of food here and there because I do enjoy cooking, right? And who knows, tomorrow I may be doing more interior based stuff because, you know, I like my apartment, I want to show it and how I create spaces for it and all of that. So I think that when you're not open to change, it's easy to feel stuck and also to actually be stuck, because the thing with, again, with internet stuff, people get tired of seeing one thing over and over and over again. So if you're able to adapt to change, your mind is open, and not change because you want put your engagement to be high, but change like you yourself want to try out new things and you want to bring your followers on this journey with you. So yes, please be very open to change. Second thing is be yourself. I don't copy people, because you would just be lost copying people. Everyone is not going to be a fashion creator. That's the truth. Everyone doesn't even have what it takes to be a fashion creator. Not everyone knows how to dress. Not everyone has a personal sense of style. Everyone cannot be a beauty creator. Not everyone knows how to do their makeup well. Everyone cannot be a tech creator. What do I know about gadgets, to be very honest, minus my iPhone and my MacBook? Not a lot. So I can't be that, right? Everyone can't be, there's a lot. You can't be everything, right? So be true to yourself, figure out what you're really good at, what you like to do, create, and it's easier to navigate things from there. And I think the last thing would be that you need a community. That's the truth. Be careful, because it's this industry is a bit toxic, but you need a community. You need one or two people on your side that you can rub ideas with, that can support, that will support you, that will tell you the truth when you're doing nonsense. It's very, very, very important, because it's sometimes you feel like content is doing good because you watch a video over and over and over again, but in actual sense, it's rubbish. I have a video that did really, really well on Instagram, but the first edit wasn't great. My friend said, I really like it, but if you did this and did this, it would be better. And it was better when I posted it eventually. So it doesn't mean she knows more than I do, or I know more than she does, but that tip helped me a whole lot. Right. So having a community, you can't do it all by yourself, to be very honest. You need one or two people to hold your hands. So yeah, those are the three things. I'm really glad that we had this conversation. I feel like there are certain things, there are a lot of things that we need to address and discuss in this industry and as a community. And the only way to begin to address these things are from, conversations like this. So I think they're doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much for that.